Hello everyone, this is Richard from Modern Healthspan. You may have heard the news that NMN has been classified as a drug and not a dietary supplement by the FDA. We will go through the details of the case, look at the original letter from Dr. Sinclair's company, Metrobiotech, and look at what is Beta-NMN and whether it is the same as NMN. We will start with this document published in Natural Product Insider. NMN was declared not to be a dietary supplement because it is being investigated as a pharmaceutical drug. And based on this, the FDA has informed several companies of this ruling. This is a change from a letter on May the 16th this year that had acknowledged Syncozyme's notification of using NMN as a supplement without objection, meaning that it could be legally marketed in dietary supplements in the US. A little bit more on the process that is happening. A notification must be sent to the FDA based on this law when companies want to market a new dietary ingredient in the US, where a new dietary ingredient is something that was not marketed in the US before October the 15th, 1994. So NMN would fit into this criteria. Inner Mongolia Kingdomway Pharmaceutical Limited had sent such a notification to the FDA, and on October the 11th this year, the FDA replied, saying that NMN was being investigated as a drug in clinical trials and is therefore excluded from the definition of a dietary supplement and may not be marketed as such, essentially objecting to their notification and reversing the position from May the 16th. So why is this coming up now? In December 2021, Metrobiotech sent a letter to the FDA requesting that they treat Beta-NMN as a drug rather than a supplement, based on the fact that they were investigating it in clinical trials. This seems to have been prompted by a similar case where the FDA declared that NAC was not a dietary supplement. We will look at this in more detail a bit later. Interestingly, it does not seem that Metrobiotech has further backed up this claim since then, as a Freedom of Information inquiry from the MPA found no further exchange up until August this year. And who is Metrobiotech? They are a privately owned clinical stage pharmaceutical company working on NAD precursors. One of these is MIB-626, which is a proprietary formulation of NMN. Here is one of the trials that they are conducting for Friedreich's ataxia, a rare inherited disease. Dr. David Sinclair is both a co-founder and the chair of the Scientific Advisory Board. Metrobiotech's case rests on meeting these three criteria. The item must have been authorized for investigation, substantial investigation has to have happened, and the investigation should be public. Metrobiotech is claiming that they have been met. Another key element is whether a notification of NMN's use as a supplement was received before the request to use it in a trial. However, the FDA does not make public when it receives the application for the trial, so it is not possible to confirm whether this happened in this case or not. One point that has been raised is that MIB-626 is a unique formulation of beta-nicotinamide mononucleotide, and the notice may only refer to this MIB-626 and not NMN in general. Here is what I can find on this. If we look at this paper on NMN, it says that Beta-NMN is the active form. And we can see that suppliers, in this case Renew by Science and ProHealth, both use the beta form. All the wording of the FDA dockets refer to Beta-NMN and not to anything more specific. So I think it means all forms. So far, NMN is still available from outlets in the US, such as Amazon, but this could change at any time. There are probably going to be legal challenges, but what happens if the FDA enforces this recommendation? My understanding is that NMN supplements will need to be removed from sale in the US, just like it was with NAC. At this time, it is not available for any indications either, so until clinical trials are complete and it is approved, which could be years, NMN is not available with a prescription either. If and when it does get approved, it will be available with a prescription from a doctor for the specific indications for which it has been tested, such as Friedreich's ataxia and Alzheimer's. For NMN users like you and me, this is definitely unfortunate news. So is anybody happy apart from Metrobiotech? Yes, Chromadex and their Chief Scientific Officer, Dr. Charles Brenner. Chromadex is the owner of Tru Niagen an NR supplement, and the other main NAD+ precursor, and they put out a press release with the information in case anyone missed the note from the FDA. There was recently a case with some parallels which seems to have been resolved. This relates to NAC, or N-acetylcysteine. About 2 years ago, the FDA declared that this was also not a dietary supplement, and it was no longer available in the US through stores such as Amazon. The NPA, the Natural Products Association, filed a suit against this, along with registering 2 citizens' petitions. This seems to have worked as the FDA revised its guidance on August the 1st this year, saying that it intended to exercise enforcement discretion with respect to NAC. My understanding is that this means that the status of NAC has not changed, but that it may choose not to enforce the ruling. This is not optimal, as the status remains unclear, but it does open the way for the sale of NAC in the US. And indeed, you can now find NAC-based products on Amazon. And in fact, I got more than 1,000 hits when I searched. It should be noted that NAC is not an exact parallel, as it has been available as a supplement in the US for many decades. Let me finish with a couple of excerpts from this letter from the Council for Responsible Nutrition, a supplement industry trade association. Responding to the notice, they cover some of the same points we went through, and they point out that this is not optimal for consumers, and they are evaluating their options. We understand that many people like us have seen health benefits from using NMN, and we really hope that this can be positively resolved so that we can continue to do so. We will be watching the case closely and let you know of anything that we learn. Thank you so much for watching.